So the morning that we've seen so far, several confirmed tornado warnings. We've had reports out of Nevada that there has been some damage, but it's not just been there, it's been in Oklahoma too, and these storms continue to move off to the east and north. And as they've marched east, we've also seen tornado watches get issued. So now we have another one that lasts well into the afternoon, 4 p.m. in fact, which we'll get to. Here are some of those local storm reports that we saw. One tornado that perhaps we saw develop in Kansas crossing the state line. The survey will be complete, but a most likely tornado. It was confirmed by radar, even briefly observed, making a direct hit in the town of Nevada. That storm racing off to the east, but we've had other reports too. In Oklahoma, there have been a handful of some of these reports, and this is very early in the day when we're looking at what today could feature. The focus has been in Paducah, down to Memphis, that Mississippi River Valley, that mid-Mississippi River Valley. But these storms with this associated front, this cold front that's been marching off to the east, there's been enough spin in the atmosphere to produce this. And so, Marissa, when we look at what we've already seen and what we could see, it really is just going to be a continuation. What's probably going to translate today, the few tornado warnings that we have will turn into multiple at the same time, and it's got all the makings of a tornado outbreak, which is concerning, but take this seriously. We have a tornado watch that now extends from Little Rock, Arkansas to St. Louis, Missouri. That's the one that lasts until 4 p.m. and that was issued out ahead of this line, which has had a history of producing tornadoes.
It's interesting because with this issuance, Little Rock included in this, by the way. I was looking at a school district, Conway, which is just off to the north and west of Little Rock. They're doing an early dismissal because they want kids out by 1 o'clock and to have time to get home and to find a safe shelter with their parents. Little Rock actually posted something yesterday saying as of now they were sticking to their regular dismissal time. I wonder if that'll change. But when you wonder the importance of these weather offices and the Storm Prediction Center, it's because of that forecasting and that foresight that these school districts can plan to make sure everybody's where they need to be safe for these storms. And you need to do the same thing. Time will vary depending on where you are, but hazards will generally be the same. Live radar, it's quiet. This is one of the quieter moments that we've had through the morning.
And we still have a tornado warning on the board.
And we still have a tornado warning on the board. And it's just one. It's right there, just to the north of I-70. This is in north central Missouri. This is radar indicated, meaning there are some signs of at least rotation aloft above the surface. The concern for should we get a funnel to drop. So getting to a safe location out of Howard, Missouri, just to the north of Boonville.
We had through Fayette, we had storms roll through, and this has been on the backside of that. So it's a very electric, high energy environment. This storm that's tornado warned moving to the east northeast at 65 miles an hour. So this notion that able to outrun these storms, these things are hauling today, nothing's stopping them. And if you're impressed by that, wait till I tell you how fast these storms south have been moving. 80 miles an hour.
We're up to 80 now?
80 moving through Springfield. The one that's just to the west of Osage Beach, so you have Lake Ozark, you have the Lake of the Ozarks. Those storms are about to get pretty nasty. But yeah, it's this cluster that the Springfield office has gone ahead and just issued the whole line and advanced that off to the east. But yeah, at times 80 miles an hour is how fast it's
probably
moving.
One of the reasons the polygon is also so big. It also has tornado possible. And one of the trends we've been seeing is a lot of the spin that we've found and the tornadoes that maybe we've been able to pick up, at least via radar, it's very quick. So if this happens, it could be very quickly. And so when you have a tornado possible tag, I would just get to a safe location. A basement, are basements prevalent around here? Okay. Head to the basement. That's your best bet. If you don't have a basement, if you're in a mobile home, see if you can get to a shelter if you have time. These are racing across I-44, so interstate travel is also something you should suspend. And also just the fact that it's heavy rain. You are not going to be able to have visual confirmation of anything that happens, I can guarantee.
And keep in mind, we've already seen throughout this morning some of that rain move through some of these cities. So just because we've had one round does not mean that we're off. In Branson, Missouri, we're taking a live look right now. That's the historic 76 strip. And Ripley's Believe It or Not. So I believe we're looking, I think, in the direction of the east, and the storms are coming in from the west. Yeah, so it's not looking too dark, but we'll keep tabs on it. It's a windy day too. That's the other thing. We've got wind advisories in effect, but yeah, those storms on the way to Branson.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just continue into today, right? The threat for this afternoon, the threat for very intense, life-threatening weather. we're going to sound like a broken record. I feel like we probably already do, but you can't say it enough. And the fact that you're watching means you're going to be weather aware. Spread the word. Make sure your neighbors know. Make sure people are fully in tune with the forecast, because it's not every day we see the Storm Prediction Center issue that 5 out of 5 risk. Notice the legend at the top. It maxes out at 5, with 5 being extreme. And so noticing it is that lighter shade of pink. This morning, the SPC actually expanded it a little bit further to the south and west. It now includes more of Arkansas, Pine Bluff down towards Monticello, but it also extends all the way through Paducah. That's more than 2 million people that are included in the level 5. Look at the level 4. On any given day, to have a level 4 is also very notable, and that also includes millions of people. So anybody who's highlighted from the Storm Prediction Center, you have the threat for tornadoes, damaging wind, and large hail. Timing will vary, and the frequency of one of those hazards may also vary. But within that zone right there, the SPC also noting numerous widespread tornadoes that could be intense, which means EF3 or stronger, and long-lived, meaning on the ground for a long time, which would be different than the setup that we have for this morning. So there's a look at the available storm energy, Stephen. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it for certainly to the south, but as you get further up to where that low is spinning, where the warm front is also pushing to the north, there's energy that we can tap into as well.
Yeah.
And it'll be utilized.
It will be. I think that we'll see it. I mean, as far north as St. Louis, when we have looked at that outlook, St. Louis not under the greatest threat, but we've got a tornado watch until 4 p.m. there. This cold front, it's a unique feature, I guess, this go around, because fronts, as we know, typically they move on through. But this is going to do something pretty unique as it moves a little closer and out of the Ozarks and into that mid-Mississippi River Valley. We say that because the Mississippi River snakes right through Memphis. The front is going to slow down, and it's probably going to start behaving like more of a warm front eventually as we head into the overnight hours, and we're going to bring in some of that soupy air. So getting this almost transition that we're going to witness later tonight into the overnight hours, that speaks to the atmosphere that we're dealing with. Yeah. It's a unique one, not something that you see all the time, but looking at some of these winds, dew points, well, also winds, but moisture is very high. I mean, mid-70s down in New Orleans today, all that's getting tapped and pulling to the north. It is really just kind of a wait and see what happens in this part of the South, because we've already seen through the Ozarks what those storms can do.
Yeah, I think, with the shear, this just kind of demonstrates, if you need to visualize it, we talk about the winds changing with height as you go further up into the atmosphere. Not only do they change direction, the blue barbs indicating about 2 miles up, they also increase speed, and that makes it really easy for things to twist. So that's why we're looking at the support for some of these supercells, and it may not be. Last night we had more of a discrete setup. It was very discrete. There was quite a cap in the atmosphere. This, we could have multiple supercells kind of all along a broken line maybe, and they're going to be moving into an atmosphere that can continue to support and fuel them. The tornado threat is why we have such a high threat for today. And
when you look at a probability like this, I mean, it's the top of our scale. It's a level 5. And this is sort of the chance of us getting a tornado in a specific point. And that's how this map is determined and read. There's another parameter we can look at. Okay, with the tornadoes, we'll see what are the chances that they're strong. There's a big zone here, and it extends from Indianapolis down to El Dorado, even beyond, closer to Texarkana, that these storms could have the potential to achieve quite intensity, significant intensity.
Know how to get warnings. Know where you're going to be when the storms come into your neighborhood. Know where you're going to go. A lot of things you need to prepare for. And here's the unfortunate part, as if we didn't already dish out a lot of that. We have a flood threat, and a very high one as well. So this is a look at the severe weather, the tornado potential. We're going to continue on through the morning. We have more than 50 million Americans, by the way, that are under those severe weather threats.